That's right. I'm Captain America now. I'm Captain America. What's up, everybody, and welcome to One Man's Opinion. And today we're talking about Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, America. We're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America. Let's talk about it. Look, to be honest with you, I didn't want to do this review. I'm having a lot of fun doing Mortal Kombat stuff right now, and I've got more Mortal Kombat stuff on the way. So if you don't like Mortal Kombat, the channel may get kind of boring for you, but I felt like I needed to do this. I don't know. Some people have asked me about it and how I felt, and I've been putting it off. I don't have a lot of great things to say about it. I think there were some very bright spots. Mostly, I didn't care for it. I'm going to kind of get into it. I always start with the negatives first. We got a long list of negatives. I'm going to kind of go on a rant a little bit here, and then we'll round it off with a few of the positives. I think there were some bright spots. So starting off with the negatives, Winter Soldier just got completely neutered in this whole series. I don't think Winter Soldier won a single fight the entire series until like the very last episode, and even then he like had help in and out, on and off. He had help, which is ridiculous. Look, there he goes. Okay, yeah, he got the crap kicked out of him. There he is, getting whipped. Now, let's keep in mind that he ended up in this position. This is a man who has been fighting for like 100 years, okay? He's been trained by the U.S. military. He's been trained by Russians. He has a vibranium arm. Okay, he's been trained. He's been doing this forever. These people just got these powers, and they're the same powers. The same powers. So let's just say all things are equal here as far as strength and speed and everything like that goes. And then you've got expert training, has had the powers forever, so he's used to them. You remember when Steve Rogers got powers and he was like running into cars and like tripping over stuff and like just figuring stuff out? I get it. They've had the powers for a little while, so they kind of know how to use them a little bit, but still, it's not like this man who has had these powers for 100 years. So he's got the training, he's got the knowledge, he's got the know-how, he's been doing it for a long time. Plus that on his arm, that's a vibranium arm. That's the strongest metal in the world. It would be like if you put a UFC fighter or like a professional boxer in the ring with just like a random thug. Now let's say that they were just as strong as each other, just as fast as each other. It's just that one's professionally trained, the other isn't. And then you toss the professional boxer some brass knuckles. Who do you think's going to win that fight? Even if there's 2 or 3 of them. I still would take the UFC fighter, the boxer, in that fight. Yep.
I always wanted to do that.
Look at this man. Look, he's just being held. He wasn't even like struggling right there. Look at this unit. Look at this absolute unit. Look at this man. Look at how smart he is. Look at how tactical. Look at this man. This is against another super soldier, but this is Captain America. Also been trained. Also has a vibranium shield. Look at this fight. Look at this fight. Look at the reaction. Look at him. No holds barred. This man. Look at this man. And then go back and watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that knife work. This man's getting wrecked by thugs right now. Yeah, look at that arm work. Look at that arm work, Captain Rogers. Look at the power. The man just busted up concrete. He's taking Cap. Right now, he's taking Cap. Remember, Cap doesn't know at this time that that's Bucky, so Cap's going all out here. He hasn't learned yet that that's Bucky. He's not holding back. This is Winter Soldier versus Captain America. Ooh. Hops right up. Ready to go. What a fight. What a fight scene. We didn't see anything like that in this series. And I could show you example of every time Winter Soldier runs into these guys, he's just getting worked 90% of the time, when really he should be bulldozing these guys. I don't mind that he loses here and there. He should lose here and there. They have him outnumbered. But it should take a dog pile. He should be wrecking these guys right and left. Just keep coming at him and eventually overwhelm him. That's the way it should look. But no, instead it's just like he gets kicked once and like he's slow to get up all the time. Or he gets hit once. They just completely neutered him, and it's awful. It's hard to watch. I was so excited going into this because I was like, okay, we haven't really seen the Winter Soldier in action in a while. He was there for Infinity War, barely showed up at the end of Endgame. You can like kind of see him there a little bit. We haven't seen real Winter Soldier since that movie, since Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which was probably one of the best Marvel films to date. Certainly one of the best standalone movies, maybe the very best standalone, because of the great choreography, because of the stakes, because of the things that it brought to the table with Steve and Bucky. It was really, really good. And now we have this neutered, watered down Winter Soldier. And I understand that it's not really his story, but it is. He has such an arc in this movie where he's trying to rid himself of that past. He's trying to get forgiveness. He's trying to forgive himself. And that's another problem that I had with it. He has no payoff. Everyone else takes a big step forward in this series, which is some of the highlights. I think Sam's journey in this show, while bumpy and confusing at times, at the end, when he puts that suit on, hey man, that Captain America suit that Sam's wearing, the Falcon with the wings, and just the whole outfit is dope. Sam may have the best superhero outfit in the entire MCU right now after donning that new Captain America garb. It's really, really cool looking. And then Walker, the first Captain America in this series who kind of loses it on his way, he's got an amazing arc that pays off at the end. He becomes U.S. agent. Those are good things. But Winter Soldier goes nowhere. At the very end, he goes to the old Chinese guy, the one that he's befriended, and he's like, hey man, I got to tell you, your son was killed by the Winter Soldier. That was me. I didn't have a choice. There's nothing I could do. And you see like the Chinese guy get really sad, and then it cuts to Winter Soldier walking out. And like there's no resolution there. You have no idea if the old man forgave him. You get the sense that Winter Soldier kind of forgave himself. But I wanted to know, could they still be friends after? You see the old guy like in that bar or that little coffee shop or whatever it is where they drink together. You see him there later. Bucky just kind of like smiles and walks away. And I guess I take that as like, no, he didn't forgive him. And yes, he was angry with him. But still, I would have loved to have known if like there was any chance that they could speak again in the future, or if, you know, how bad was it? There could have been such an emotional scene. It could have been the most emotional scene in the entire series. They should have let that play out. That payoff needed to be had for Bucky, for the audience, for the old guy. That payoff needed to be had, but it was just dusted over. Why? So we could get what was that, like an 8-minute rant by the Falcon that went nowhere in the middle of the street on the news? We'll get to that in a second. It's a huge problem, and I think the Winter Soldier as a character, as an arc in the series, I think he was done dirty. I think the Winter Soldier was done absolutely dirty in this whole series, and he deserved better. This series also had like one of the worst bad guys, or like group of bad guys that I've ever seen in Marvel anywhere. It's just a group of super soldiers whose motivations are like really dumb. Like I get it, they're refugees and people have been displaced by the snap. It could have been like a really nuanced thing. It could have been really back and forth, like, yeah, you know what, she's making some good points. But all those good points are mute when you just make her a complete reckless killer. Like it was like it tried so hard to get us to care about her or to sympathize with her. How do you sympathize with someone who's just like blowing up buildings and setting trucks full of people on fire? She is an absolute terrorist. Like they're a group of full-blown terrorists, and I'm supposed to like feel sorry for them or like empathize with them. Like you completely take the sting out of what could have been like a really nuanced subject if you make the people like horrible. Now if she would have done her best, like not to kill anybody, or not to set trucks full of people on fire, or blow up buildings. If she would have just been trying to make a point, and like you would have had like the government send Sam and Winter Soldier after her even though she wasn't posing like a threat to civilians, I think there could have been like a discussion about like, okay, who's the real monster here? You know, you could have gone there, but you completely forgo any of that when she's a legitimate terrorist and she's legitimately just trying to murder as many people as she possibly can to get a political agenda across. And I'm sorry, but when you're murdering civilians, that kind of takes away from any sympathy anyone should have to you. And then look at this. This is our big bad? Oh, she's so intimidating. She's a child throwing a tantrum. Stop it. Like a child. Stop it. And then she goes out like a punk. And there it is. There's your series big bad. That's the big intimidating villain of the series. Horrible. You can't connect with her on an emotional level because she's an evil terrorist. And you're not intimidated by her because she's a spoiled brat throwing a fit the entire time. And that's our big payoff. That's our big fight at the end. You know who was a better villain? Georges St. Pierre, who showed up. He was in Winter Soldier. They brought him back to be like a henchman. He should have just been the bad guy, because his fight was so much better. And at least we know why he hates the Avengers. At least he has like some real motivations here. This chick pretended to be for something the whole movie, and it just all fell completely flat. And like, yeah, I know, villains are supposed to be misguided. I understand that. I understand that sometimes a villain thinks that they're doing the right thing. They can't get out of their own way. But this show tried so hard to come off as like nuanced and thought-provoking. Like, you could tell every single episode there was something in there where they were like, bet you didn't think about that at home, did you, audience? Never really considered that. How about you look at someone else's point of view for a change? It came off so like preachy all the time, but never actually had anything to say. And I cannot make this point better than Falcon himself.
About easy decisions, Senator. You just don't understand. I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? 1 second to ask why. You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to
do better.
Because if you don't, the next Carly will. And you don't want to see 2.0.
He's got no actual suggestions here. Sam makes 2 statements in that whole 5-minute speech that he gives, and neither one of them makes sense. Number one, he makes this statement about being a black man wearing the stars and stripes. And you can tell, man, you can tell by how the line is delivered, by how dramatic the scene is, that the writers, the director, maybe even the actor, I don't know, they think that they're saying something. Black men and women serve this country wearing the stars and stripes every single day, making the ultimate sacrifice for their country. It is not a shocker to see a black man as Captain America. This whole show was about how like a black man, they'd never accept you. They'd never accept a black guy being Captain America. That is ridiculous. That's outrageous. There are black people in the highest roles of government, in the highest roles of military across our entire country, and no one is complaining about black cops or black military men and women saving your bacon on a daily basis. They are heroes. And you can tell by the way Disney or whoever it was put this in there that they thought that this would be like thought-provoking. Like, this is, oh man, yeah, you're right. Oh, I can't believe it. A black guy's wearing Captain America's outfit. No. And I can prove it because I don't know anybody who, when Captain America handed the shield over to Falcon, I don't know anybody who said, Captain America just gave the shield over to a black guy. And nobody sees a problem with that. Yeah, find me that YouTube video. Would love to see it. One video. Somebody saying that. Not somebody saying Winter Soldier would have been a better choice and making an argument based on personality or abilities or time with Steve or something like that, or their background. Nothing like that. No, just simply making the argument that a black man should not be Captain America. I would love to see, of the hundreds of thousands of videos that have no doubt been made on the MCU throughout the last 15 years, find me the one video. I would love to see it. You won't, because no one thinks that way. No one is shocked to see it. I couldn't wait. I was so excited. I said it just a minute ago. Sam's got probably the dopest costume in all the MCU. I love the new Captain America look. I think it looks awesome. It's awesome. But making these statements like it's something that's supposed to shock us when great men and women do it every day. But it's different than the military. Captain America is a symbol. Captain America represents America. And so having a black man represent America doesn't happen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does happen. Has happened. And will continue to happen throughout our history. And so making these statements like they're a big deal or coming off so preachy about something that just is ridiculous is annoying at best. The other thing Falcon says in this speech is that the senator should do better. And he goes on this like long rant and preach about how people struggle and life's hardship. Look, whether or not I agree with some of what he said is irrelevant. Whether or not we agree at all with whether or not senators or politicians could do better and could serve the people better, yes, absolutely. I think everyone would agree that politicians in U.S. government, whether you're left, right, or center, or where you fall politically, we all think that our government officials could do better for us. What gripes me so bad is that he makes no suggestions on how to do it better. He just complains about the state of things and says what you're doing isn't good enough. Do better. Literally his exact words are just, do better, Senator. Oh, okay, let me take that. Oh, excellent constructive criticism, Falcon. Captain America, I'll just do better. You're right. I'll just do better. I'll give him a pass on one thing. He makes a statement about how they could feed millions with a phone call, about how they could take care of certain problems with an email and things like that. Okay, fair. They could certainly do better. But where is the scene where he sits down with congressmen and women or senators and maps out a plan that helps those that need help, but also because the senator makes an excellent point in the argument that if these people who were brought back in the snap, if they are just put back in their old homes, if they're put back where they were, the people who were here for 5 years, who moved into these empty houses, who took these jobs that were open and available, they would be jobless, they would be homeless. And so how do you come up with an idea that helps those who were back, but also doesn't completely strip people who were here for 5 years of everything that they have? And he gives no suggestions on how to make that better. At least the senator has an idea like, okay, you know what? We're going to make sure that the people who were here for the 5 years are taken care of, and they're not being pushed out of their homes or blown up or set on fire in trucks. We're going to make sure that these people are safe and that they're taken care of. And then after we're sure with that, then maybe we can find a way to help those who came back after in the 5 years. Maybe you can do both simultaneously. Maybe there is a good way. Who knows? All we got was, do better, Senator. Why come off so preachy? Like this whole series just kept acting like it had something nuanced, something profound to say. No one, we're not here for that. I don't know any fans who are like, hey man, going to see the new Avengers movie. I sure hope it gets political. I sure hope at some point in this movie or in this series it gets mad preachy about things, but never actually gives any suggestions on how to improve things. It just talks about blanket statements of how things aren't good enough and people should do better. Comic books, man! Haha! It's awful, and it's annoying. I hated that aspect of this series. Other than completely neutering Winter Soldier, other than a horrible villain and group of villains, and other than an overall preachy attitude that the whole series had, other than those things, there were some really bright spots to this series. And all sarcasm aside, Falcon in general is a huge bright spot. Having him come into the role of Captain America, finding his way from like not believing that he should be that, and his arc to accepting himself as, you know what, I can be Captain America. That part is brilliant, and it's beautiful, and it's really well done, and I appreciate that arc. I appreciate his journey in that respect. I think Wyatt Russell, who played Walker, the first Captain America at the beginning of the series, I think he killed it. Absolutely killed it. The character, the writing for the character, the acting for the character, top to bottom, from beginning to finish, his arc was brilliant. From going to just some guy who had this immense pressure put on him to perform and to be Captain America, something that he couldn't do. No regular man could take that on. Now, Sam is just a regular guy, but he's also got the Falcon tech. He's got the shield. He's been fighting this sort of war for years now. Walker was just thrown into it, a regular soldier just kind of thrown into it. Was he an exceptional soldier? Sure. But still, to go from like Steve Rogers, super soldier who like never made mistakes, he kind of had that image, that Boy Scout image, to this guy who is a great soldier and has done great things. There's just a big disparage there between powers and ability. And so it was a tall task. And seeing that pressure weigh on him and him making decisions with that pressure heavy on him and all this different stuff as the series went on, and how it gave him this bipolarness where he would be like doing his best at one point and then just completely letting the pressure and the rage get to him in another, so much that as a fan you were watching and you were just kind of like thrown back and forth. We're like, okay, yeah, no, you know what, he's not so bad, to, oh no, okay, he's off the hinges now, all right, all gloves are off, he's definitely going to be the villain by the end of this thing, to, oh, okay, redemption, he's back, and then back to, oh, no, he's off the deep end. He's off the deep end now. Oh, for sure, he's about to be the bad guy. For sure, they're going to flip Carly around because they've been playing her off sympathetic this whole time. They're going to flip her around to be like a good guy in the end, and she's going to see the error of her ways. She's going to be redeemed. He's going to be the bad guy. And then back around to, hey, you know what? He's not so bad. I kind of like this guy. I kind of dig him. Oh, he gets to be U.S. agent? That's really cool. Okay, awesome. U.S. agent. We got a new comic book character. It seems like he's doing better, like mentally by the end of it. What a great arc. What a great arc for that character. Well done. Well done. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. That was amazing. And Wyatt Russell acted the crap out of it. Well done, top to bottom. Way to go, Mr. Russell. That was another huge bright spot. And so, yeah, there were parts I liked. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention another part that I just completely didn't like. I forgot to put this with my negatives, but just so you know, Peggy Carter as, is it Peggy? Miss Carter? It's one of the Carter, whatever. Peggy Carter, I'm going to call her Peggy, whatever. Maybe that was Cap's girl. I don't remember. It's one of, anyway. She, being the power broker, was like the most outrageous twist ever. Like, you introduced the power broker and Miss Carter, Agent Carter, in the same episode. And it was like, the power broker is somebody who has incredible access to a variety of things and just gets stuff done and has all this power and this network of different things that she can do, weapons and favors and all this other stuff. And then it's like, also, Miss Carter is here as well. We're going to introduce them in the same episode, and she's got a lot of access to things that a person on the run from the U.S. government ought not have. I wonder who the power broker is, Marvel. And then, like, okay, that's fine, but then to even have the end credit scene be about her and like, oh, that Carter, she's had it again, making phone calls and getting people riled up. We've got weapons and government secrets. Get your buyers lined up. Oh, big reveal there, Marvel. Oh, no. Stupid. It could have easily been played as like, we knew it was a secret identity from the get-go. And then you could have had like this Batman or Spider-Man twist to it where it was like, okay, we're not pretending like you don't know that she's the power broker. We're accepting that you know that, but there's this hiccup where now she has to like protect her identity. She has to protect her identity for herself, for her own safety, for her business's safety, for people she cares about safety. Put a Spider-Man, Batman spin on it, the reason they protect their identity, and then all of a sudden when George Pierre at the end of the movie, or at the end of the series, comes up and he's like, I know who you are now, you're going to pay me 4 times what you were going to pay me. Then it's like, oh crap, he knows, now there's stakes. But when you're just like, by the way, I'm the power broker, and then he's like, oh, now that I know that because you said that out loud like an idiot, guess what? You got to pay. There's no stakes there. It's like, oh yeah, she kind of deserves that because she's stupid. Like, you could have spun that in a totally different way, but instead you pretended like it was this great reveal. You could tell by the way they set the whole thing up. It's just like, no, yeah, we all knew she was if you were paying any attention, it doesn't take a genius to pick up on the fact that she was clearly the power broker the whole time. Anyway, the only other thing I want to talk about, the only other bright spot I really want to touch on was Baron Zemo. What a good way to finally flesh out his character a little bit. He was so boring last time we saw him in Civil War. He was just a boring villain. And so now to have him fleshed out, give him a little personality, people will want to see him again. And so you can have him returning over and over again. I think what they did with him was smart. I think it was a good use of his character to bring him back, give him a little redemption because he wasn't great in Civil War, and now you have a villain that can make multiple returns as the shows go on. So well done with Baron Zemo. This review has been way too long, so I'm going to cut to the chase. With bright spots, really, Falcon, with Wyatt Russell, with Baron Zemo, with these bright spots, and some genuinely good arcs in the series. I'm not trying to say that this series was worthless, but when you have no villain worth mentioning, when you have just a preachy attitude all the way throughout while giving no suggestions or no help to any of the problems that you're preaching about, and then you completely neuter one of my favorite characters in Winter Soldier, you've got like 3 really bright spots, Falcon, Russell, Zemo, and 3 horrible spots. This is a flip of the coin, okay? I didn't have a lot of fun watching this. There were fun moments and fun arcs, but by and large, it wasn't for me. And I'm sorry if you really enjoyed it. Genuinely, I have a friend who was talking to me last time I saw him, and he was like, hey man, have you been watching? I can't wait to see your review. You know, I'm excited. I really like Baron Zemo, and like he was excited about it. And like I didn't say much to him because in my head, I didn't want to kill his excitement. But in my head, I was just like, nah, man, to be honest, I haven't been enjoying it much. Like that, yeah, I like Baron Zemo a lot. Yeah, I've enjoyed that. And some of the fight scenes have been fun. But as an overall story, I haven't enjoyed it a whole lot. And so I'm coming down now. It's time for the rating. I'm giving Falcon and Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. I'm giving Captain America and the Winter Soldier a 66 overall. And that seems about right. Barely passing, right? Okay, I'm sure I upset somebody with this. I would love to hear some arguments. I would love to hear your thoughts or whatever it is down in the comments. Please drop down below. Let me know what you thought. I got a lot of editing to do, so if I upset you, if I broke your heart, if you didn't like it, don't get mad. Remember, this is just one man's opinion. Thanks.